Hey guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today I am so excited to be covering Real Housewives of Miami, Season 2, Episode 2. Text lies and your smile is fake. Ooh, those are fighting words. I bet I know who they're talking about there. Such a good season. I'm really enjoying rewatching this. So much drama going on, so much to talk about. Let's get into the episode. Hey guys, I just want to take a second and say if you're enjoying this show, please check out my Patreon. Go to patreon.com, search Real Housewives Recaps, or check the comments below and I'll put a link. And for $1 a week, you can support my show and get 4 bonus episodes per month. I'm covering Scary Island, like the greatest season of Real Housewives of New York. So check it out. Thanks so much. So the episode starts out with Alexia and Anna at Anna's house. And remember at the end of the last episode, Elsa unfortunately collapsed at a party because of overheating and stuff. Luckily, we find out she's doing much better. She's been discharged. That's wonderful. Anna says the only thing odd that night was the Rodolfo introduced himself to her. When obviously they had been texting, they knew each other. Alexia asks what she thinks about Karent. And Anna says she's nice, but she's sizing me up. She's nervous and apprehensive. That's exactly how I feel, too, about Karent. She seems very guarded and not comfortable with them talking about Rodolfo and Anna. Alexia says they just, let's be nice, let's give her a chance. So then we go over to Karent, and she's saying long-distance relationship, it's hard, it's different, they're trying to keep the spark alive and keep it going. This anytime the housewives show scenes like this where they're in bathrobes and getting all romantic, it really gives me the heebie-jeebies. I don't like it. It's uncomfortable. Nobody wants to see this. Like, what are we doing here? So they go get a massage. They get covered in rose petals, and she just reads so over the top fakey to me. Like, everything she says with a smile, it kind of creeps me out. Okay, so she brings up his difficult divorce, poor Rodolfo, and when he asks to get, she asks when he wants to get remarried, and he says, well, when the time's right, so he won't give her a specific answer, he's being vague. Meanwhile, we go over to Lisa, who's saying she takes care of her husband full time. She says basically, she's his bitch. And she goes into his office. She brings pictures of the two of them for the office. She ends up taking their wedding photo and sticking it right in front of his computer on the desk, front and center. And anyway, so she explains basically he works these long hours. He's very high demand. He gets home very late. So she spends most days without him. So then we go over to Joanna's house, and she and Romain are arguing about food and cooking, and of course her sisters, Marta, is always at odds with Romain, I always get that name wrong. Joanna explains that her mom had to work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week to provide for the girls, so Joanna actually helped raise Marta, so that's why they're so close and why Marta stays with them anytime Joanna's in town. So funny scene, Marta goes looking for Joanna in the apartment. She ends up accidentally walking in on Roman and sees his penis in the bathroom. So she's freaking out. They argue about it. Joanna says that she and Roman used to have the most amazing sex life, but now it's less and less. So I remember that being a pretty big story point that comes in and out, is that they just don't get down like they used to. So then we go back over to Anna's house. Her boyfriend is Mark. He's also a lawyer. Apparently he's a former U.S. attorney for Florida. And she says this is the first person she has seriously dated since her divorce. Robert and her are moving in 2 different places. She explains that they've had the paperwork done on the divorce for a long time but not filed. Because she says it's hard, but it sounds like it's time to move on. So interesting storyline there. I like learning about her and her life. I find her very interesting. So then we go over to Leah's house. Now her son is RJ, which is Roy Jr. So she explains her husband Roy has a case in Palm Beach. It's a big deal, and they really want to watch his closing arguments. So RJ sets up the computer so they're able to watch. She explains again that she met Roy in the early 90s. She was on jury duty. She tried 3 times to get out of the jury duty. It didn't work. So she was sequestered. She saw a lot of them then, but she said after the case, they ran into each other, they went to lunch, and it took off from there. And that's how they ended up together. So then we see Lisa and Lenny. They go out with Adriana and Frederick. They decide to go to a yacht show so Adriana and Frederick can get ideas for their boat to make it more livable. And it's so funny because looking at these boats and looking at the interior of the dark wood and stuff, it makes me laugh because it reminds me so much of the boats they use on Below Deck, and a little bit dated. But, okay, so Lisa says that she doesn't understand how Adriana's going to do this. Isn't she going to get seasick? And Adriana says it's a romantic idea. And I'm thinking, maybe it's like a vacation idea. I don't know about full-time living on a boat. Lisa says she's going to hate it. So they talk about kids, and Lisa is saying that she really wants 2 or 3, whereas Adriana says Frederick really likes his peace and quiet. He doesn't want to have any more children, and Adriana's okay because she has her son Alex. Lisa says, Lenny and I have been trying for the last 3 years, and we're really having a difficult time with it. So I do remember this storyline. Really painful for her. Not to give spoilers, but I do know I believe they have 2 kids now, so that's good to hear. P.S. I love Adriana's sunglasses here. They look like they're Chanel with blue rim. Those are gorgeous. I just had to point that out. So here we see Adriana at Elsa's house. She says that she feels like Elsa fainted because of the hot day and she got dehydrated, but she's explaining that they have a close relationship. Elsa says that she doesn't think Adriana loves Frederick as much as Frederick loves Adriana. And she basically has to explain to us, Adriana does, that her first relationship was so bad. So remember, she was married to her ex for 7 years until she got a call and found out he was cheating on her. And that was the end of that marriage. And now Adriana has a fear of loving completely and trusting 100%. She was worried that she was not worthy of real love in her life. She promised herself she would never again depend on a man, and especially financially. And what's funny is Elsa's telling her, no, you should depend on a man. But it's just funny. She's like, learn to put your head on the right pillow, the one full of money. I think the idea being Elsa wants her to marry for money, but Adriana does not want to depend on the money. So, funny scene. You guys, I'm really not trying to come down on Karent so hard, but it seems like this that I just can't with her. Okay, so she's a dentist. She works, and she calls it a dental spa. She does like that paraffin wax and aromatherapy while they're getting dental treatments. Cool. Love the idea. That's great. Sign me up for that. But the part that I can't with her is like right here. So what's she doing? She's meeting with her publicist. She's like, I know. Why would a dentist need a publicist? It's because I did 40 appearances last month. It's just like, I don't want a dentist who's doing 40 appearances in a month. She says she has her publicist to promote her business. It's all about networking. Okay, fine. I agree. Any business, you need to network. But she then says, I establish my business one celebrity at a time. She loves to walk the red carpet. I'm sure you do. All right, I got to move on from her. Going over to Marysol. Marysol's at work, and Elsa is there to see her. So Elsa's worried about the bad energy from the party and from everything going on. So she comes to cleanse all the bad energy at Elsa's business. So we see her throwing rice around. Apparently that is a sign of prosperity, to which I say I'm going to get my rice right now. Then she sprays perfume in the air. That is supposed to be cleansing for good energy. And Marysol's like laughing about it, but she says, Mom's usually right. So, I wish Mama Elsa would do that stuff for me. Throw rice on me, cleanse the air with a perfume. I know she's passed, but in my head she's not, and it's sweet to see these scenes. It's sweet how much she loves Marysol. So then we go over to Joanna and Roman. So they're at dinner. It's their anniversary. They talk about how busy she is all the time, and she's had to put off getting married. She says it's now been 5 years. He says it's her fault that they didn't get married, and she says that they either have to get married or they have to break up. And she says they've had pretty bad bumps along the way, and that even still something's just not quite right. So it's interesting to see them talk about marriage when she's straight up admitting that it's not right. And she admitted earlier that their love life isn't great either. So, we know how this turns out. But we'll keep, they'll go pretty deep into this stuff. Then we're over to Adriana and Frederick. And he says he's ready to get married now. And he's asking, are you ready to get married? And she says she's too scared to believe in fairy tales. And he's saying he'd marry her, right now he'd marry her tomorrow if he if that was the deal. And she just doesn't know about, if there's such thing as one perfect person, just to make her life a fairy tale. So they talk about the boat, and she says, let's wait and see what happens with the boat. And then she says to camera that will buy her a few months as far as figuring out when she wants to marry Frederick. He says again he's ready tomorrow, but he will wait forever, which is a really sweet line. Then we go over to the Biltmore Hotel. It's the Swine and Wine event. It's super crowded, and all the women are meeting up over there. The women greet each other. Lisa points out again that Leah is blowing her off, and it's not nice. And we actually do see it. It is strange. I don't understand why Leah is immediately not being overly nice to Lisa. I don't know if it's to create drama or what, but it just seems out of character for Leah. Let's see. So Adriana ends up pulling Karent aside. So Karent's kind of panicking, saying that Rodolfo has to get to the airport, but she can talk for just a few minutes. So Adriana pulls her aside and says, listen, already there are rumors about you and Rodolfo. How serious is this? What's going on? Is he seeing other people? That sort of thing. Adriana tells her that the group was asking how serious they were. Karent says that Anna wrote, I miss you. And then she says, he tells me everything. Like when she texts him, he shows me everything. And I'm thinking again, if it's truly one-sided, why is he texting with her? It's just weird the way that Karent is so blind to everything that Rodolfo seems to be doing. And she's solely putting the blame on Anna here. So Adriana says it's hard with all the girls after him, haha. Rodolfo ends up leaving to go to the airport, and Karent to camera says, talking about Anna, someone who likes him is spreading rumors that we aren't a couple. I mean, come on. It's just ridiculous. Okay, so Lisa and Joanna are longtime friends. So when Marta confides that she and Roman aren't doing so great, Lisa ends up offering her a place to stay. That way Joanna and Roman can have some alone time, maybe reconnect, that sort of thing. So the group starts talking about Rodolfo. And Adriana says, Karent told me that they had a serious relationship. And Anna says, well, he was texting me all night. And Leah backs up the story saying, yeah, her phone kept going off and it was definitely him texting her. So Adriana decides to call over Karent. And Karent just flashes this huge toothy smile. That's something that they call her on a lot, just this big fake smile. And Adriana explains, they were asking me about Rodolfo. You told me that Anna was texting him all night, but then they say about what Leah says. And Adriana says, if he's texting her, then you probably need to know that. And again, Anna reiterates that he was definitely texting her. Well, Leo says, I don't know if it's her boyfriend or not. I don't know if Anna has something going on with him or not. It's just entertaining. Anna says he was messaging her on Valentine's Day. Karent says he has to answer all of his friends. He's a Latin soap star. Woo! Has to answer all of his fans. So she's making it out. Karent is like, Anna is just like some sad fan who's messaging this soap star, and he's just being kind and answering her back. And they point out, well, they're texting each other. That's different than tweeting somebody. It's a little bit more personal this way. And again, I ask, how did they exchange numbers if there's nothing going on? Marysol says, if that was me and I was given this news, I couldn't smile through it like she did. Anna shows the texts. They're blurry on the screen, but she says it's him saying how beautiful she is. And Karent says he has women fans. I'm okay with that. Again, with the fans thing. Marysol brings up what I was saying. Private texts are not because you're a fan. That's more personal. And Leah's like, I couldn't pick the guy out of a lineup, so how big of a star is he? And that's how the episode ends. We see the preview for the next episode. It looks like they're over at Lisa's house. And Karent is FaceTiming Rodolfo, telling him about what came up with Lisa and that they're all not Lisa, I'm sorry, that what came up with Anna, and he's denying that he's texting her. I think he's full of crap. It's Marysol versus Lea. We get to see more of that going on, and it looks like Joanna and Roman get into a pretty big fight, so we'll see that as well. So again, I'm loving this season. I'm super excited to be jumping back into it. I've missed talking about this. And I forgot how good season 2 is. I'm really enjoying it. So, hope you're enjoying it as well. Leave me comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Who's your favorite of the cast? Who's your least favorite? Who's bugging you? Whose side are you on things? What do you think of Karent? Am I totally off base here? Does she bug you too? Just curious. But everybody stay safe and healthy. Thank you guys for all the continued support. I sincerely appreciate it. Please check out my Patreon. $1 a week, $4 a month gets you 4 bonus episodes. We're really having a lot of fun over there. Really appreciate all the support. And I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Take care of yourself and stay healthy. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.